How's it going? Here with another video. It's been a little bit, but I've been doing quite a few things, so just gonna get this going everywhere or get started. Got this camera ready to go. Actually, what I could also do is oh, I think maybe it's a little bit too late. Try this one. Do I have Instagram on here? I do. All right, so this company had sent me this camera to check out and make some content on. So I'm going to go over the little disclaimer and everything, how I do this, how I work. I mean, work is a strong word. How I basically collaborate a little bit with companies, and the gist is that they send me a thing and I don't pay for the thing. So in this case, they sent me this camera, but they have to agree to my terms, which means they have no say in the content of the videos, live streams, articles, everything. So that's how it works, basically. Just gonna get this recording. All right. I think I'm good. I think everything is working. Yeah, it looks like it's working. So this is a live stream. I'm multi-streaming to 3 different platforms. There's a lot going on, but I will try to monitor the chats and respond to anything related to the camera or what I'm doing at the time. So how it's going to work is I'm just going to open this up. I've already looked at it. I've charged the battery, but I haven't tried it. I'm going to open this up, go over the specifications, what it is, what they, think it's good for photography wise and all that. And I'll try it out a little bit here and there. It looks pretty interesting as a camera, but it's specifically called the Maxmango V08 Pro. They have a version in blue, but I asked for the orange because I've kind of got a orange theme to my photography stuff and all that. So it made sense to go for the orange one. Yeah, and if you have any ideas for things that I could test or try in the moment, let me know. Again, this is a live stream, but I'm going to move over to the other camera setup. We can unbox it over there. There we go. This recording. I do have chat windows and things over there as well, so I should be able to monitor everything. Oops, actually I might need extension cable for this phone. Let's see. Well, that one does not reach. Oh well. That's okay. So this is a waterproof camera, and I do have some water with me, but I'm going to do that at the end. So I have a thing of water. And then we'll test it out towards the end, just in case. See how it goes in that respect. So I need to get this other, the Amazon Live stuff. It only works with a phone. So to see the chat windows, I have to use a phone. And I want to keep it running, so I've got to connect it to a very long cable. There we go. It should be good. All right. Nice. Whoops, sorry. Make sure that's not in frame. I'm gonna put it over here. It'll be a little harder for me to see the Amazon chat, but that's okay. Let's see. I need to realign this a little bit. This out of the way. That over there. Cool. Again, this is the Maxmango V08 Pro. And like I said, they did send me this to try out and make a video on and various other stuff. But they had no say, or they have no say in the content of anything that I make. And they aren't allowed to preview anything or give me ideas or suggestions or anything like that to the content. So it looks like that's the actual company name, Shenzhen DELANDA Technology Company Limited. Yeah, all right. And this one, it looks like there's nothing super necessary there. But I think we're good on that. Let's pop it open. I did mention they have a blue one as well, which looked nice. I just wasn't, whoops, sorry then. I think I need to turn down the exposure a little bit on my camera here. Whoops. I should just let it glide open. Very nice box. Pretty solid feeling. There it is. There are a little bit of fingerprints on it already. I did take a look at it, but I can wipe those off. There. Yep. It's a very unique looking camera, right? That is a screen. Nice. So again, this is waterproof, like actual waterproof. Does that show up on the top? Can't tell. Let's pull this open. There we go. So there it is. There's the accessories. Basically, nothing too exciting in the box. This doesn't come out as far as I can tell. They also have Wi-Fi connectivity, which I'll probably be able to try out. I have another phone that I can use. And it says 15 meter, 49 foot waterproof. I'm not going to be able to test that here, but yeah, touchscreen for the back, 8K recording, and then the app controller, whatever that does. So I put the box upside down, that's fine. And then it comes with this little guide plus also information on how to properly open and close the bottom latched area. Considering this is a waterproof camera, you do have to be careful with this type of thing. Let's see, this looks like the same information on both sides. All right, so to ensure waterproofing, securely close the battery compartment cover. So we've got, let's see, both red indicator marks should be clearly visible. That is the closed state. So if we want it to be closed and locked down so that water doesn't get in, we need to see those red dots. It says how to close. We're going to do that one first and then the side one. And then to open, we're going to do this, the side one here, and then this main one. Pretty simple looking. All right. Inside this box, we've got a bit of accessories and a lanyard. All right. This feels a little bit thin, but it's nice that they include something. Yeah. Considering the size and weight of this, I don't think I would use this specific one, but it might be fine. You never know. So over here, there's a little hole. So you can, now I'm fully zoomed in, and we're just gonna slide this. I'll probably take this off, but for the moment, we can try it out. Yeah, it'll just slide up. And then at that point, refocus the camera. I think I need a lighter background. There we go. At that point, we can take the lanyard itself and put it through this loop. Pretty simple. And that's the same for any type of setup like that. And then there is a little thing here you can slide to lock it to your wrist. So that's better than nothing. I think it's fine for the most part. It would be nice if they like gave us something a little bit more thick or something, but it works. All right, there it is. I should probably give you some sort of size scale reference. Let me see if I've got anything useful. Well, could do a CD. Could pull out the Polaroid. A lens maybe. A little digital camera. Just for some sort of scale reference. So these might be a little bit dusty. So here is a Polaroid. For size and scale reference. This is the Gen 3, so this is the most recent one. It might be a little bit different in size compared to other Polaroids, but this is going to be the same size. This is a standard size for the paper, or whatever you call it. So it's kind of that. This might be a little easier, but I mean, I don't know if CDs are very known these days, right? So I don't think I have anything else that would make too much sense to show with it. I think that's fine. Yeah, so there's a CD in comparison. Let's see if I can get a good view of it. There we go. Not too bad. It's a little bigger than I imagined when they were showing me the product photos, but it's not a bad thing. And then here is my old digital camera for reference. This is a PowerShot S200 digital ALF 2 megapixel little Canon camera for size reference. Yeah. Actually, maybe I should lower the exposure on that top-down camera, because this is very overexposed. Oh. Maybe I'll shrink it down a little bit as well. Oh, how's it going? Opera, nice. Let's see. Gonna change a few things with this top-down camera. Configure video. That's probably good. I'll make it a little bit smaller. Oops. There we go. How's that? So it's not overexposed anymore. Looks good. Yeah, this company, if you didn't hear my opening, they sent this company called Maxmango. They sent me this camera to try out at no cost, but they have to agree to my terms, or any company has to agree to my terms when I accept products from them, which means they have no say in the content of anything that I produce, and they're not allowed to preview anything or give me like direction for the videos. So that's how that goes. Oh, maybe it's my, it didn't, I don't know if the change to the view worked. So it looks the same. Well, maybe it's just the brightness of that camera. I mean, screen. I'll adjust it a little bit more. Properties. Let's see. All right. It's probably good. Could also crop. Anyways, kind of losing focus. Yep. So there it is. It's got a screen on the front. There's a screen on the back. But before we get to that, comes with a USB cable. It's going to be for charging. It does not include any type of actual charger. And this specific USB cable is USB-C to A. The camera itself has a USB-C port. It's on the bottom here inside this area where the battery is, the memory card. But this is a waterproof camera, so it gives some consideration to certain features of the camera, which we'll talk about in regard to that. But yeah, little USB cable. So any charger, if you don't have a different type of USB cable, any charger that you'll be using with this is going to be USB-A. In this case, I've got this old charger that takes that USB type. So for example, you know, let's plug it into this thing. And then we can open this up. So mentioned on this box, to open, we're going to do this one first. There we go, it clicks. Then we have access. Then there is a battery. There's a little plastic flap for the battery. Otherwise it doesn't come out. I'm not sure how I feel about this design. We can talk about it later. And then you've got your USB-C just to plug it in. So that's how you're going to charge. Just make sure this is all the way in there. And the camera turned on. But if you don't want to turn it on, you can obviously just hold that down. Yeah, holding it down turns it off. And then there is an indicator on the camera that it's charging. So pretty easy. That's how you're going to charge it. But like I said, it does not include the actual charger. It just comes with a cable. So you can probably use your phone one or an older phone one, as long as it's got the USB-A that goes into the actual charger. But you can also use some USB-C to USB-C cable. I do have an example of that. So if you want to use an aftermarket cable here, it's going to work basically the same. Plug that in. Then I've got this charger over here. No, I don't think that was in there. There we go. Is this on? It is on. Try a different port. Okay, well, depending on yeah, maybe the shape is wrong or something. I could try a different cable, but there shouldn't be any reason that it would not work. Let's see. Oops. Try this one. How's it going? This is a live stream, so 777. Okay, yeah, there we go. So we've got the charging. Actually, the light is a different color, so it might be doing a different type of charging mode in that case. Interesting. All right. That port does seem a little loose with the cable, but it worked. Anyways, well, the light is still blue. You have a test. Nice. Hopefully it works out for you. Let's see. Okay, before we get to the actual camera, I think there's a little bit more in here that we can look at. Got this bag. It's cool. Seems like a very thin, basic material, but that's okay. Let's see how it fits in here. Yeah, I guess you could do that. That works. Make sure my camera's focused. Yeah. Cool. Obviously, you could put the lanyard in there as well. I'm going to take this off so that I can more easily deal with it with the camera. Whoops. Again, this is a live stream, so if you have anything you want me to try or look at or mention, I will make an attempt if I see the comment here. So here we've got microfiber cloth. That's a nice little addition for the screens and such. I'm not going to bother opening that. And actual paper manual. It's nice to see. So there's the name of the camera, Maxmango V08 Pro. They do have a blue one, but my theme is kind of orange, so I went with that. We've got English, German, French, Spanish, and Italian. Let's see. Various cautions. Do not swallow the batteries. That's good to know, right? Definitely don't want to swallow batteries. Yeah. Then we've got a bunch of information on the actual buttons and such of the camera. Let's see, it's referring to here. See if I can show it both on the paper and on the camera. Maybe I'll just do a zoom in on the camera. There we go. Whoops. I think it's trying to focus on the screen. All right, so we've got the W and the T is going to be zoom in and zoom out. I'm pretty sure this is a fixed focal length lens, so it's just digital zoom, but we can verify that later. And then we've got up and down buttons. So it says in photo mode, this top button here can do burst shooting, so 3, 5, or off. And the burst shooting is 20 megapixel. And then it says increase volume during playback as well. That up. And then we've got the right button, which is a little trash can icon to it over there. This one says in shooting interface, choose whether to delete the most recent photo. All right, and then in the center, of course, we've got the OK button for any confirmation type thing. And then we also have scroll down. This down button is going to be the video mode. So you'll be able to get into video mode with that down button. And these buttons feel pretty decent so far. They take a bit of effort to press, but it is a waterproof camera, so it's kind of normal. And then this down button also does switch between photo and video modes, decreases volume and video playback. And then we've got the return button down here, right there. This one's going to be return to the previous menu or open the media library in the shooting interface. And I guess I could turn the camera on. Try this while we're doing it. Does make a noise when I do that. So again, we've got. Okay, before we do that, let me see if I can disable that sound. Where's the menu? I think this is the menu. Yeah, the beep is a little much. Make sure this is focused. Oh, that's really loud. There we go. That was the low mode, so you'll definitely be able to hear the sounds in any situation, most likely. So we got that. But we can look at the menu in a second here, once we go over all of the information. The different buttons and things. All right, so this is a 2.88-inch screen on the back, and it is a touch screen apparently. But I guess in this mode, okay, there's a little bit of things you can do. Let's see. Okay, yeah, there's a menu. I'm not sure how to exit from there. Let's see what else we've got. I'm gonna put this phone over here so I can monitor it. Again, 2.88-inch screen here. And then we've got another screen on the front. It's probably this button here. Yeah. There's another screen there. I don't want to show too much of that direction, but yeah, that's one of my lights. So that's kind of cool. It does take a little bit of time for it to switch back, it looks like. Let's see. So if you want to do selfies and things, this might be pretty nice. I can do a selfie in a different area. Try that other screen out. And then it says number 11, which is going to be this light here. It looks like. Let's see. Yeah, so this is the flash, obviously, but it also does different stuff, it looks like. It says assistive lighting in low lighting environments. Light. And then there's a working light, charging working indicator light, the little blue thing. Let's see. There's a little hole down here. That's where the microphone is. Looks like. Yeah. It's a microphone hole. Then we've got obviously the lens, and it has a protective cover over it because it's a waterproof camera. What else have we got here? Speaker hole number 15. Let's see where that is. Okay, the speaker is down here. So that's where the speaker is, under the grip. This is great. Good to know. I do see a tripod connection. Let's see, what else do we have here? Okay, this is a 2.1 inch screen here. Pretty cool. That's a unique feature. What else do we have? Obviously the battery and such. Let me turn this off. I think it's off. Yeah. So again, to open this thing up, there are two latches. So if I want to open, I'm going to do this one first. It's this top one. Takes a little bit of effort. Probably want to have fingernails that are decent over that. We've got our battery inside. So this is one thing that I'm not sure about. There is a little plastic pull tab, and you're going to always have to use that to get the battery out because it's not spring loaded. So it seems fine for now, but if that tears, it's going to be a problem. Because it's in there with enough force that you really, really don't want to tear this flap or damage the flap because you'll have a problem. See if I can get the light on it. Yeah. So protect this flap. Don't damage it because it's vital to actually getting the battery out. That is similar to GoPros. GoPro batteries have a little flap thing, which I can show. Whoops, phone turned off. Let's see. I can show an example here. Yeah. Yeah, GoPros are pretty much the same. So in the case of a GoPro, you know, same setup. You're gonna always want to protect this flap because if it breaks, you're gonna have a problem. So those, at the very least, the GoPro ones have held up for me. All right. Hopefully this will be the same situation with this one. But anyways, I would be very careful with that flap. Don't use any sharp things around it or whatever. All right. So there's the battery compartment. Here's the memory card. So it looks spring-loaded. Now this camera did come with a memory card. I can get it out. I don't know. It's a little difficult. There we go. So it came with a generic 64 gigabyte memory card. That's nice. It's a micro SD. Very nice. Got your little slot in there. I can try to get a decent view of it. Yeah, there's the card slot on the bottom. Yeah, should get another light or something, but and it is spring loaded, so you just press in there and then it locks in. Cool. Then of course we've got our USB-C port right there. And then this is the included cable. Yeah. Right, there's really not much else to look at down there. We can take a look at the actual battery. So it only comes with one battery. It says model 803550, 1800 milliamp hour, 3.8 volts, 6.84 watt hours, standard GB 31241-2022. And then it looks like, I'm not sure if that's their company name. Let's see. Okay, it looks like it's made by a different company. So, good to know. And then there's, of course, some battery warnings on the back. I'll have to ask them and see if it's possible to get replacements or a second battery or what. But hopefully this is easy to get. And then, of course, we've got that little tab. Protect this tab, don't damage it, because that's definitely something you will need. And of course, it's going to go, you can see some pins in there, potentially. Maybe if I got a light, I could shine it in there. Let's see. Yeah, there are some pins. And inside, obviously, when you put the battery in, you want the connection points to line up with those pins. So those pins are going to go down. And slide that thing in there. It should be good. And not much else to that. We've got the waterproofing gasket. This is something you're going to want to keep very clean. And if it's damaged, it's not going to be waterproof. So keep that in mind. But yeah, it feels like a silicone material. Keep it clean. And whenever you're going to close the door, obviously make sure there's no dust or particulates there or inside this area. Water gets everywhere, so I'd be very careful. And we can also do the latching thing again. How to close. We're going to do the side one, this one, and then the top one. So I'm going to push this down. So, and then it locks in. You can see the red line in there. And then this one, pull down. Again, there's a little red indicator line. Yeah, pretty simple until you get used to it. Cool. And then we also have the tripod connection. I mentioned this in pretty much any camera review or camera overview video that I do. I would prefer if the tripod connection were perfectly in line with the lens, but in this case it's not. It's offset. That's not a big deal, but in some situations when you're doing like a panorama or something, it would be ideal if they were aligned. Now you could get a little plate or something to perfectly align it, but you know, that's up to you if you want to go that far. But it's nice that it does have a tripod. In the position of this tripod will interfere if you're going to use some type of quick release plate. The door will interfere, or these two things will interfere with each other unless you have like a really, really small one. So it would have been nice if this thing were over further to, again, be in line with the lens, and it would also have given more space that you could potentially use a very small quick release system. But it's not a huge deal. It's just a consideration as you would do panoramas, anything where you're going to put the camera on a tripod, take it off a tripod, put it on something else with a quick release plate. Yeah. So it's nice that it has a tripod connection. That's the 1/4-20 type and size. But a few little quirks to consider. Let's see what else we've got in the menu here. I'm in the manual. Let's see. Camera usage steps. Did I cover all of this? Oh, it has an SOS button. So that's going to use the light. We can try that out. Let's see, where is that? Number 8. Okay, it's on the top here. So if you are sensitive to flashing lights, this is a warning for you. I'm going to press this button, but I'm also going to zoom out so it doesn't hopefully take, flash the whole screen a ton. But we're going to try this SOS button out. Okay, yeah. So it's using the lights in there to kind of do its little flashy flash thing. Pretty cool. That's a nice little extra feature, and it makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense with a camera that's more rugged and focused on that type of thing. That's cool. I like it. And again, there is the button on the top. One more time. Whoops. Why isn't that going off? Is the camera on? It worked a second ago. Oh, there we go. Yeah, for whatever reason, it wasn't responding to me. Yeah, okay, it works. Nice. Let's see what else we've got. Camera power on-off button. It says installing the memory card. We already went over that. Get my other chat just in case. Let's see. Charging. I did cover charging already, but I can go over it again if anyone is curious. So it says you can charge the camera using installed USB cable and an adapter. So it says 5-volt 1 amp or 5-volt 2 amp. And the included cable is a standard USB-C to USB-A type. So your charger will need to be USB-A type if you want to use their included cable, which I do have one here. This is not included with the camera. But yeah, so that's how that's going to work. And then this can go into a standard wall outlet. And you can use any phone one, whatever you got on hand. That's a USB. Let me see, what's the order of this again? So I should open this one first, and then this one. And then inside here, we've got our USB-C port. Pump that in there. Yeah, and then the camera indicates charging. Pretty simple. That works. Any questions? No? All right. And then I keep forgetting which one to do first here. Okay, we're gonna close this first. So I'm gonna push down on that, lock it, lock it. Cool. Camera's still on. And if you want to turn it off, obviously you're gonna hold the power button until it's done there. Let's see what else we've got. Whoops. So now it's gonna go over video mode. So it says video resolution 8K at 15 frames per second, 6K at 25 frames per second, 5K at 30 frames per second, and 4K at 60 and 30. I probably wouldn't use anything over 4K, maybe 5K. 2.7K, 30 frames a second, 1080p, 60 and 30, and then 720p, 60 and 30 frames a second. Audio recording can be turned on or off in the video files. Well, I mean, when you're recording. And it says loop recording, there is off 1 minute and 5 minutes. I'm not really sure what the purpose of loop recording would be, but you know, if you want to use that, you can use it. And then there is apparently an anti-shake feature, so it's going to be a digital type of shake reduction, most likely. You can turn it on and off if you want. Then we've got resolution settings and examples. And this goes over how to use it. We can do a little recording of sorts and then look at it later on the computer. So I'm going to turn on the camera. All right. And then we're going to press this button down here. Now we're in video mode. And I'm going to go into the menu. Make sure this is focused. So it says videotape. And then this is a touch screen. Yeah. Go into videotape. Okay, let's go back to the menu. Maybe it's in setup. Yeah, okay, so in setup, we've got video mode. Then we've got our resolution. It defaulted to 4K 60. But then we can go up to the 8K 15. I could get some type of thing to put on screen that we can look at. Take a few boxes maybe. I don't know if this is a great example, but some stuff so we can potentially see what it looks like. All right, I'm going to do the 8K. And then I'm going to turn off the shake reduction, if I can find that. So there's a video file length feature. Okay, that's the loop recording. There is a time lapse. So it does have a time lapse feature. Let's see what that is. So it got 1 second, 3 seconds, 5 seconds, 10, 30, and 1 minute. So somewhat of a limited time lapse, but we can potentially try it out. Let's see. Then there's the audio recording. Oh, it looks like it's a little bright on my screen, but let's go back. Screensaver, auto power off. You can put a date or timestamp on the photos. Fill light. So that's going to relate to the light up here, most likely. Make sure I'm focused. Let's see. Okay, this tone thing is the beeping. I turned that off pretty quick. It's very loud for the beeping sound when you press buttons and stuff. You'll probably want to go and turn that off, honestly. And then you can turn the touchscreen on and off. And you can format your memory card. Let's do that. Again, this camera did come with a 64 gigabyte micro SD card, which is nice. Let's see. I don't see the shake reduction thing, but it might not work on that mode. Let's try 4K. No, it doesn't show up in there. Let's try 4K 30. Put it in here. Yeah, I'm not sure where that would be if it is in the camera, but that's okay. Let's take a look at the manual real quick. Let's see. So it's supposed to be in the list of video resolutions, audio recording, time-lapse recording, loop recording, and anti-shake, subject to the actual device functions. All right. So it should be in that menu, but I didn't see it. Whoops. Let's go in here. Oh, sorry. Yeah, setup. Video mode. Just seeing if there's like another page or something that I'm missing. So the maximum frames per second looks like 60. You can do 4K 60. Which seems like a bit excessive but for a camera like this, but you know, 8K 15 frames a second is probably not one you're going to use in practice. But I mean, it's nice that they include it if you want to use it. Let's look at the firmware version. So the firmware is 2025 1224. Call it the D80. Interesting. Yeah. All right. So I guess I could do a little video recording or two, and then we can look at those later. Let's go into the video mode. Make sure we're zoomed out. Just some things that will give me a bit of color and such. And I can get a few little plushies or something that we can use for an example. Bob Ross plushie. There we go. This might be a little small area for this, but we'll try to make it work. This is ultimately just for color and things so that I get a few. Well, if they stay up, standing. Stay up, please. Oh, I have the light on. Turn that off. There we go. Use the light to hopefully work. Nice. So I think I'm in video mode. Let's see. I honestly don't know if this has, I'm pretty sure it has autofocus. We can find out. Let's look at the manual here. Zoom. Got burst modes. Yeah, so autofocus mode. It says the device supports 3 focus modes, which can be configured in the settings menu under autofocus mode. That's probably going to be in photography, but maybe it's just a general focus. So we've got a fixed focus mode. Supports shooting from 50 centimeters to infinity. Simply press the shutter and it'll take a photo. And then semi-autofocus mode. It says press the shutter halfway and then the focus frame changes from red to green. All right. Then we've got auto mode. So 3 different focus modes. It doesn't look like, maybe auto mode would let you focus on the sides and things, but at least for what I see here, the half press mode, I mean, there's just a box in the center. So it's most likely that it's just going to focus in the center there. It is a relatively small sensor, so it might not be a big consideration. We'll see. All right, that was a good little test here. So it is recording video at the moment. Make sure that's focused. Looks pretty nice on the screen. Let me press this, see if it changes when I'm in recording mode. No, it doesn't. There is a little light. Seems good. So I think, yeah, that was 4K 60 for that little test. We can zoom back out and try something else here. Let's see. Whoops. Let me go back to photo mode. So we got the resolution for photo mode, 48, 64, 70, 80, 90. So it defaulted to 48. I guess we can leave it on that for now. That seems a bit excessive for a small camera. Regular photographing. Okay, it says 5, 10, and 20 seconds. This is probably a timer. And then continuous. 3 frames a second, 5 frames a second. And then normal photography. Not sure what that means. Yeah, I wonder if I'm not pressing the right buttons to get to like the autofocus information. Well, I'm in video mode, maybe that makes a difference. I'm gonna press this. All right. Let's go back into the menu. And that jumps to the photography. Oh, here we go. It's right on the screen. There are the focus settings. So let's look in there. We've got semi-automatic, fully automatic, and fixed focus. Again, that was 50 centimeters to infinity. I think that's, I don't know what that converts into inches, but it's probably like 12 inches or something around that. So we could just do the whatever default was. Let's take a picture here. Yeah, it works. This must be like an automatic focus mode. Okay, let's switch to oh, it was on fixed focus. Okay, that explains it. I was wondering why it. Let's try semi-automatic. Go back to photography. Touchscreen is pretty useful. Okay, yeah, there's a little screen. Whoops. So you have to half press on here to get it to. I can see it shifting. There we go. Let's put this over here maybe. There we go. Yeah, it is changing focus. It's good. Whoops. Doesn't want to stand up. You can easily take a photo without it focusing in this mode. The half press is a pretty small window. Whoops. Yeah. So with the shutter, the window to get half press mode is very slight. Let me see if I can. And then you press down all the way to get the focus. Let's see. Let's try that again. Yeah, very slight. And then if you wanted to reframe, you could. Like you can shift the camera a little bit. So given that the focus area appears to be in the center, you can do the shift to focus where you want type of thing. And given that it's a relatively small sensor, it should probably be fine for the most part. Yeah. Feels decently quick enough for this. All right, I could get a few more examples of things to try out. Pull out some colored pencils and such to look at the actual colors. Maybe a puzzle or something. Should probably be good. Get a drink real quick. All right. Should help us take a look at color. Can always light that as well. I'm gonna do a quick photo. There we go. Let's add these ones as well. It will open. Nice. See how close we can. Yeah, that's not bad. I could show these later, but we can at least get an idea. That's pretty close. It is a bit slow when it focuses like that, but it works. Let's see if I can get a little bit more here. Maybe I'll find a few other examples to take pictures of. Little objects or something. Okay, this one's good. Very small object. Just got that recently. This. Oops. This thing is a Kodak Charmra camera. This is an actual camera. Oops, this phone turned off again. There we go. Let's put that on there. Go back into photo mode. Whoops. This. Nope. Menu, photo. Yeah, that's close. I'm currently using the 48 megapixel mode, which feels excessive, but we could go up to the max here. And it's going to be in setup. I do like the touchscreen. Oh, it scrolls. Oops, actually that's going to be, is it in regular setup? Yeah, photo mode. Goes up to 90 megapixel. That's funny. Sure, we'll try it. And then I can go to that. Maybe I'll add some light to the situation. Again, the half press area is very light. Oh, it says filming in progress, please do not move. So this appears to be some sort of pixel shift or something. I'm not totally sure. Let me try that again without holding the camera. All right. Yeah, it says there's a little thing on the screen. That's cool. I can shift this and then maybe we can get a better view for you all of what's going on. The screen. So it is over. Let's see. Should be good. I think that'll work. Yeah, I could get something to, well, actually, let's use this instead. All right. Does that focus on the screen? Not quite. Should probably be able to see it. There we go. Yeah, there's a little message. It says don't move it. So that is the 90 megapixel mode. Let me try one of the other ones here. Back to the menu. Setup. Photo mode. Let's go back into the resolution. Let's try 80. So it would be nice if there were quicker ways to do some of these changes, but you have to go into the main menu. So it looks like that one's also doing some type of combination type of mode for the higher megapixel. Go back in the menu, setup, photo mode. Let's try 70. Whoops. Yeah, that's also doing that. Did the field of view change? Let me see. Back in the menu. Setup. I'm curious. Let's put it back to 90 for a second. Yeah, it did. So it's maybe using a portion of the sensor. Something like that. Wish I could give you a better view. Let's see. I'll have to fix that later, but it's okay. Yeah, so that's the 90 megapixel. You can take another picture. Then you can see that message on the screen. Let's see. Maybe that's better for all of you. Cool. Let's go back into the menu. Setup, photo mode, resolution, 80. Whoops, I moved it a little bit. Yeah, I think it's using more or giving you more of the view when you go down in resolution. It's kind of cool. Let's go 60, whoops, 64. So this is one step down from the default. Back into photo mode. Yeah. Cool. Okay, this one's also stacking or something. It changed the focus when it finished doing the photo. .48. Maybe I had changed the setting accidentally. We'll see. Oh no, that's one single frame. So 48 megapixel is going to give you a standard photo. But then you could use something lower than that. Like I think it was 20 and such. Which I would probably use something a little lower than 48. It seems a bit excessive. It goes down to 5 megapixel. You can try that. I mean, I guess it's fine. And you might as well utilize, whoops. There we go. You might as well utilize any potential resolution that exists. Let's see what else we've got in the, do a time lapse. Let's see what this means. It just says normal photography on. Continuous shooting, so we could do 5 frames a second. I don't know if I have any way to easily demonstrate that today. It's possible that I could do another stream if everyone is curious or interested, and I'll be most likely making a full video on this thing once I try it out a little bit more. But I don't know if I have anything that moves that we can try with any type of frames per second mode offhand. Yeah. That's okay. I can at least take the frames and look at them. So we're in the 5 frames per second. Zoom out here. Back to photography mode. So it just, the frame is not moving. Yeah, the screen appeared to not change when I shifted when it was doing the 5 frames a second. Who knows what's happening, but let's take a look. So they're kind of blurry. No. I'm not sure how to change the... Oh, it's up and down. Okay. So we've got the various photos that we took. All right. Whoops. There is one video, I think. Yeah, I took one video so far. I can do another video before we get to the situation of taking a look at this stuff on the computer. Overall, it works. Oh, there is a flash we could try as well. Let's see. Okay, so automatic, always flash. Then it has like a work light thing. That's cool. So there's auto mode. Okay, yeah. So you can have the light just stay on. So it appears to be an LED style flash system. It's not a traditional flash. So keep that in mind. It's not going to work like a normal flash would. But at the very least, you can use that. Let me see if I can go into video mode and use it. Okay, we're in video mode and the light's still on. So that's a nice little benefit potentially with video mode. Let me do a recording here. So, can we turn this off when it, nope. Yeah, it doesn't turn off when it's recording. Okay. Interesting. Let's see. So it's an automatic. Let's see if it turns on. Nope, it didn't turn the light on. I'm not sure it does autofocus in video. Let's see. I'm not sure. Whoops. Let me try a different focus mode real quick. Let's go into autofocus mode, and then let's do fully automatic. Go back to video. Turn on the recording again. From what I can tell, it doesn't appear to do focus in video, but maybe I'm doing it wrong. I can always ask the company and verify things, but yeah. Okay, you can zoom in when doing video, but it's not focusing. So if you're outdoors, maybe that would make more sense. Let me make sure I'm in the right focus mode. It says fully automatic. Go back to semi. Back to video. Maybe that only refers to photo mode. Again, these are the type of things that I learn when I'm doing these live streams. Yeah. Well, that's okay. So that swaps between photo and video. I do like this touch screen. It's very nice. Could try a different, let's try 8K video. It does have a time lapse, but I'm not sure I could time lapse enough to do that on stream because it would just be sitting around. I could time lapse myself at the computer once we go over there and copy the files over. Let's see, is there anything else? Does anyone have any things that they want to look at? We can look at the wireless app, actually. Let's see. Autofocus mode. Connecting to the computer. So this is an interesting little addition or feature. It says PC camera. So we can try that out as well. Webcam mode. Very cool. Okay, there's the app. You can delete photos. Yeah. So the app is called iSmart DV2. I'm gonna try that out real quick. Get my phone for this. Let's go into the Google Play Store. I don't have any Apple devices, sadly. Oh, my camera's not. I forgot that I shifted the camera. There we go. Sure, it's kind of decently focused. Let me do a search on this app. iSmart DV2. Whoops. Eye catch technology. It's a different name. Looks a little bit different than what's on this picture. The company is a different name. I do another search. No, that's the one that comes up. The app icon looks similar. See if I can show this. I'm going to install it and see what happens. Yeah. Let's see. So that appears to be the app for this camera. iSmart DV2. I'm going to try this live and see if we can connect. It says allow iSmart DV2 to use your location. The reason that it would ask this probably is because of the Wi-Fi and the Bluetooth connectivity. So I'm going to let it do it. limited access. All right. So I'm not thrilled that there's a advertisement on the bottom. Let's see. Hopefully this is the correct app. I could also check my notes and see if they gave me a link to it, just to be on the safe side, although I did already install it. Let's see. Go back to Facecam for a second. I could bring the camera over here in the manual. We can also do a selfie mode. Oops, I need my other camera or other phone. There's so many things to deal with, just in case. Sorry. Okay. Yeah, we'll do a selfie with this thing real quick. So I'm going to turn this back on. All right. I was in video mode. That's okay. I can't tell. Let's see. I know that is photo mode. Let me check what resolution we're using. Oh, it's at 5 megapixel. I'm going to go to 48, which was the default. It's in regular photography mode. Screensaver, fill light. And then I'm going to go to fully automatic focus. I could also turn on the flash thing. So there's automatic flash mode. No, my camera's okay, it didn't use it. And there's the work light mode. You can also take a photo of that. Struggling a little bit with the focus there. And then, of course, we've got the selfie screen. Let me turn this light off. Takes a little bit of time to happen, but there you go. You can see that cool little selfie screen. Let me try a half press. I can't tell if it's focused or not, but okay, there we go. Nice. Yeah, that's really neat to have a second screen on there. Whoops. Oh yeah. Seems to be struggling with focus on my face. There we go. One thing that I haven't noticed in this camera so far, are there any settings to adjust exposure or anything? I don't see settings. Oh yeah, and it also has the, let me see if it works like this. You see the, can try the zoom. Yeah, it has the zoom. So this is a digital zoom. Cool. Let's try the camera. Again, that's got digital zoom on there. All the way zoomed out. Yeah, that's very, I like this. This is fun. That is full zoom. I don't know if it's going to focus on that. Let's see if I can find something with more contrast. Whoops. So you might have some flare issues with how this lens is set up, but that's generally the case with any type of waterproof camera, because it's got a very large piece of glass in the front, plastic or glass. I'm not sure what material it is. Let's see. So I'm taking a photo of taking a picture. It looks a little too bright. Well, anyways, that's a neat little additional screen thing. And you can see the grip material in the camera. Let's see my face close up. Yeah. I can't tell if it's probably fine. It's probably just the camera overexposing the screen. But I don't think there are any exposure settings. So that's kind of a downside. Let's see. What's on the menu? Oh, right. We're going to do the Wi-Fi test. Sorry, I got distracted. Let me check real quick, though. I'm curious to see if there's any exposure settings. Yeah, I don't see anything. Photography. That switches that. There's the camera preview. I mean, the light in a way would act as an adjustment, but yeah. Sadly, I don't see any exposure settings, so that's one of the larger downsides of this thing so far. I would assume they could add something in firmware if they wanted to, but you know, you never buy anything based on firmware, right? And the potential of firmware. I would, at the very least, like to see some sort of exposure compensation. Now, it's possible that I'm missing it. It's possible that I'm not seeing it in the menu. But yeah, exposure compensation would be very helpful at the very least, or some form of manual adjustment would be very nice. Now, it is an action camera type waterproof camera, and I kind of understand sometimes they're a bit limited in that type of functionality, but again, it would be nice if we could get that in the camera. Let's look real quick for this application. So again, it's called iSmart DV2, and while that's happening, I should probably charge the camera. I can see that the battery's going down, but I need to focus here. Let me check my notes real quick, or my contact with this company, just in case. I'll hold the, so you can see something when I'm looking at emails. Let's see. Yeah, it's possible that they gave me a link at some point. But I'm not seeing it. We'll just try that app and see if it works. Yeah. All right, let's go back to, oops. Go back to the hands-on camera view for now. All right. Whoops. Good. Oof. My cord is stuck. Right. Got to turn that off. I don't know if I want to hang it. Oh, that was kind of loud. Get this stuff out of the way for the moment. Tripping on things. Sorry. Okay. It's probably good. Let's try this out. So I'm not thrilled that there's an advertisement on here. Add camera. I don't know if I want to show this. Go into, there's a Wi-Fi thing on the screen here, but it probably has some information that I won't necessarily want to show on screen. So I'm going to go into there. Yeah, it has a bit of information. I'll take a look at. Turn Bluetooth on. So it says waiting for Wi-Fi connection. Choose the camera. Okay. What is it supposed to be called here? Show all. So I'm looking through my list of Wi-Fi. There's a lot. Here it is. Okay, it says connection successful. I don't know if I want to show the screen, but I think it's working. The screen did turn off. So it said processing media on the phone. Oh, warning. No battery. Please recharge the device. Okay. Let me put this in a charge mode. Whoops, I almost put that backwards. I almost spilled my tea. That would not be good. Let's see. I think it goes like that. Plug this in. Okay. Go back into Wi-Fi mode. Sorry, I don't want to show certain screens and stuff. Yeah, it has a Let's see. So connected again. There's a thing on there. I could probably show that. So far it hasn't been super difficult. It says it's connected. Let's tap on it. See if that does anything. Oh, it says processing media. Oh. No battery. Well, it does not support preview. Let's go here. SD card lost. Well, increase the screen brightness. Well, no, it does have a SD card in there. Let's see. All right, I'm gonna turn this on again. And then, what is it? I didn't even notice this thing on the side. Not sure what that is. I don't know if that's supposed to come off. Seems really in there. I'm not sure what that is. I'm just gonna leave it. All right, let's. The memory card is in there. I'm gonna push, like, reseat it just in case. It says Wi-Fi is open. Please keep the device and mobile phone within 5 meters. Okay, maybe it was related to the app accessing the phone storage. That's possible because I just got a prompt to give it more access to phone storage. And then it also was focused. Drinking tea. You hear weird noises. Yeah. It's processing. Yeah, it's very possible. Okay, well, nope. Low battery. So maybe I just need to charge the battery for a while. SD card lost. Camera mode. SD card not inserted. Cannot perform camera functions. It does. I mean, it is possible that I got the wrong app, but this is the only app that came up on the Google Play Store when searching on that specific name. So it's version 1. I mean, this camera is very, very new as well, so who knows what's going on. 1.2.4. Again, I'm not thrilled about ads on the bottom of the screen. but maybe I picked the wrong app. Let me do another search on the Google Play Store. Let's see. iSmart DV2. And it says Catching the Beauty of Life Company. Let me search on that and see if that makes a difference. iSmart DV2. No. That's the only one that comes up. So I'm going to assume this is the correct one. And it doesn't appear to be working right at the moment. But it did connect to the camera. It's just not reading the memory card for some reason. I could maybe force close the app. And then I could also try charging the phone more while we're here and see if that helps. Let me see if it works with this advanced charger. Okay, yeah, it does work. It's currently charging at 5 watts. Oops. There we go. Yeah, this is a Imfish Gemini dual USB charging cable. That company had sent me that a while back. So it's charging at 5 watts at the moment, which seems kind of low, but that's okay, I guess. Yeah, it's got power. So maybe we could try a few more things and try to troubleshoot this in the moment. But maybe I need to just charge it and then try the app again, because maybe it's thinking that maybe the connection, the USB connection, is confusing the software and thinking that it doesn't have a memory card in, because it could be doing some type of internal thing going on. Who knows? We can try a little bit more here. Although I don't know how long I can charge this. Let's see. Turn this back on. I'm going to go into the Wi-Fi mode. It has a thing on the screen I don't want to show necessarily. And I'm going to go into this application, if I can find it. iSmart. Yes. Processing. So it might complain about the battery again. We'll see. Yeah. It says low battery. All right. But auto power off, update software, no SD card. I don't know if it's talking about the phone or the camera, because the camera does have a card in it. Video size. Sure. Yeah, this app needs some work. So I think we're done with that for now. It appears to be the one that I should use, but it's not working, so that's okay. Let me charge this again. Let's see what else we can look at. There is a webcam mode. We can, oh, how's it going? Is there any way to attach the camera? What do you mean it? Yeah, you can connect this to a computer, which I'll do. And you can also just take the memory card out and put that in a computer. Or even potentially with a phone, you could take the micro SD card, put it in a phone, or use like a micro SD card reader for phones, which I do have one that I could show as an example, actually. Find one here. Doesn't. Yeah, this one should work. So here's one example. So this device has a SD card slot and a micro SD card slot. Then it has a USB-C connection point, and then you would connect that to a phone. But what I can do is turn this off and then take the card out. It's kind of difficult. There we go. So we've got, this is included with the camera. It just says 64 gigabyte on it. But we'll put that into here. And then we can connect this to our there we go. Explore. Just once. And then we've got our pictures. Yeah, so here are the photos that I took on the camera. You know, they're just JPEGs, very easy to access. Whoops, I must have touched one. Let's find one that looks like it's in focus. Some of these are pretty large, 20 megabytes, 22 megabytes. Those are going to be those higher resolution modes, which are probably not amazingly useful on a small sensor camera, but you know, it'll be fun to look at the very least. Let's see. Try one of the selfie ones. Oh, I look awkward there. Yeah. Okay, that one's not super in focus. That one is not. I couldn't really tell if I was in focus or not. Nope. Let's try one of these. All right, so that one looks pretty good. Again, this is from the camera. Looks pretty good. You can read the text very easily. Yeah. Oops. Let's see how big that file is. It's only like 1 megabyte, 2 megabytes for that one. Let's try one of the large ones. See if I can find it. Okay, this one is almost 20 megabytes. Oh, wow. Oh, that definitely has more detail. Wow. Okay. So one consideration with this is that whatever it did, you had to keep the camera stable, but that is definitely got more detail to it. Wow. Okay. I'm not sure which specific high resolution mode that was, but it does appear to work. Cool. Yeah. So you could obviously do any type of thing with the memory card you want. It's just standard micro SD card. Again, this came with the camera, this specific one. It says 64 gigabytes on it, but it's just a generic card. Put that back in the focus, right? Yeah, it is spring loaded. Might need a bit of a fingernail to make it work. So I've been letting it charge a little bit here. I kind of doubt that's enough for the app thing, but it does indicate that it's charging. It doesn't say how much, like a percentage. It sees the memory card again. Let's see. What mode is this in? I was in fully automatic focus mode. Let's see if there's anything else that we can look at while we're in this area. Screensaver. There is a date time stamp mode. We can turn that on. Take a picture. Whoops. Let's see what that looks like. All right. Take another. So it looks like it's adding it on the bottom here. Oh, I don't see anything on the picture. Whoops. I don't see anything indicating the date time. There is information on the top, but that's on all of them. All right. Whoops. Back into the menu. Let me make sure that I turn that on. It says that it's on. Date stamp. So what we could do is put that back into the phone and verify it. So there's a fill in light. Close, automatic, highlight, always bright. So what this always bright thing means is that it just keeps the light on. And there is a button, or this button here. You can use the button instead of the menu for that feature. And this thing here is loud sound when you move through the menus. I turned it off pretty much instantly. And you can turn off the touchscreen if you want to. So if you're, for whatever reason, don't want the touchscreen, turn that off. All right. Let's see. What's this? Okay, that's the. Oops. Come on. Okay, it's trying to constantly focus. Let me go back into video mode and see if it. No, it stopped focusing. Yeah, at least from what I can tell so far, video mode doesn't focus. Go back into the menu. Zoom out a little bit. Let me change back to a more reasonable video mode. Let's go down to 1080p, 30 frames a second. There's a voice recording on, time lapse. We could mess around with the time lapse mode, but I also want to, before I end stream here, I also want to check the webcam mode. Let's see if that works. So this is probably a more reasonable resolution of video for a camera like this, 1080p. Let's see. It doesn't appear to be focusing. Let me check the menu. So it's in fully automatic. Let's try semi-automatic and go back to video mode. I'm half pressing, but it's not changing. All right. So for some reason, the menu, I think it's because it's charging. It doesn't seem as responsive for some reason. Let's see. It's probably, yeah. Okay. Yeah, so for some reason when it was charging with this other USB setup, it was not as responsive. Let's see if it does it with the standard. Okay, let's go back into here. Back into video mode. Okay, so for some reason this was lagging the camera for some reason. Who knows why? That's not included. This is the included cable and it seems fine. Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's try the focus again. Half press. Nope. Again, this is in video mode. And I have it set to 1080p. I'm just seeing if it will focus automatically. Doesn't seem to. That's part of the reason I like doing the live streams, is that I can learn and also show while I'm doing it. And then people can get like a large detailed look at a thing, like a camera, if they really want a lot of information. Let's go back into fully automatic autofocus and then video again. No. Unless it has some sort of limit. Yeah. Whoops. Yeah, that should focus, but it's not in video mode. So for example, we stop the video, we go into photo mode, and I half press. You see that it's shifting the focus. Whoops. Yeah, so the green box indicates that it should be focused properly. There we go. Yeah, so at the very least, I'm pretty sure for the moment, with the current firmware and stuff, you're not going to get autofocus in video mode, as far as I can tell. And then, of course, I mentioned before, in the photo mode, I don't see any way to adjust exposure. It does have digital zoom, which is nice, but having at least some sort of exposure compensation mode or something would be very ideal, but I don't see any way to do that. It does have the light, so you've got the automatic light, you have the full continuous light, and that does make a visual difference here. So if I take a picture with and without the light, that should look different. Then we can go into the preview mode. Let's see. Yeah. Very slight difference, but I do see a difference. And then the light will reflect in any surface that's reflective, obviously, in a close-up enough. Whoops. It's got a message, looks like. Doesn't look like I can do that. All right. Trying to think of other things that we can look at before I end stream here. I'll definitely do the webcam check and see how that works. So I think that's a pretty cool feature. The downside, obviously, is that to do the webcam mode, we're going to have to leave the door open. So that's the downside. But there could be some ways to potentially, I don't know if that comes off. I don't want to try to pull it. But it's not a huge deal. The battery seems to be really in there, so I don't think the battery would fall out. Yeah. Let's see. If there's anything else that I haven't covered. Yeah, we'll go back over to the computer and try out the webcam mode. Switch to that. I might try to look for whoops, sorry, for a longer cable. Let's see. Disconnect that. I'm going to try this other cable first, just to see if it works. It is a little bit longer. And then I need some sort of tripod for this. I did just disconnect my other camera here. See if I can get a quick view, something different. Oh, that's not working. Properties. Okay, that works. Do that. All right. So for the moment, we'll use that view. And over there. All right. I might. Don't think I should turn that off. Let's see. And some sort of tripod we can use. I think this is good. So here's a little tripod. All right. Okay, that might not work. So the issue here is that with the USB cable in the camera, the specific mount is too big because, yeah, it's just not gonna connect. So that's one downside of this webcam mode already. If I could find something small enough, we could make it work. Let's go to the back camera again. Could also just use a clamp or something for the moment. I have an actual tripod. No, it's too big. Could use a light stand. This one might work. So this is a light stand. This is not a tripod, but it has the same connection point on it. Yeah, so you can see that's much smaller than this. That should hopefully work for us. Okay, I think I need to use, this might be a little too long, so it might be a good idea to, that looks somewhat shallow. So I'd be careful with this. It's a brass connection, but I would be careful with not putting anything too deep. So it looks a little shallow to me. But maybe it's just like a weird reflection or something. What I'm gonna do is various things. So maybe one of these just in case. Put it there. Let me open this up. Switch the back camera. Oops. This phone here, just in case. Again, this is a light stand rather than a tripod, but they basically do the same thing. Should be good. And then we will put this on here. I don't want to tighten it too much. Keyboard out of the way. It's not really adjustable how that's set up, but I've got a USB cable connected to the computer. And then hopefully this works. Okay, it turned on. Whoops. Look at the, so there is a screen here. Got 3 different options. The top one's going to be connecting for storage, reading the files off of the here, but we're going to try this webcam thing first. Just going to go in there. Let's say connecting. Okay. Let's see. I could increase the height of it. I don't know if I need to do anything. It just says connecting. So I could try adding a source, video capture device. Let's see, this is called the Maxmango. Or no, wait, what is it called? Sorry, let me get the box. Yeah, Maxmango V08 Pro. That's the name of it. All right, let's try that again. Max Maxmango. And then there it is. It's called the it works. The iCatch V37. I don't have a good way to adjust the camera. All right. Might as well just, yeah. Hello. That's what it looks like. Just trying to hold it steady here. The microphone is my wireless microphone. It's not the camera. I don't know if this thing has a, yeah. So the challenge here is that given, go to the back camera again, given that, sorry. Let's adjust a little bit. That's probably fine. Yeah, the challenge here is this with the battery door. Then we've got the USB cable coming out. And then you really need a small connection. So to get any type of adjustment here, you probably want some type of bracket to either move it like to the side, which would at least give us something that we could potentially adjust positioning. Because if I add that video source to this one, let's see. So that's, oh, I think it just stopped working. But that could be my computer. Let me try that again. Properties. I think maybe because I touched the USB port connector. Let's see. Whoops. I think I might have just turned it off. Back to webcam mode. All right. There we go. So it's back for the moment. But yeah, it doesn't look terrible, but it seems to be a little bit quirky at the moment. It might have been because I touched something. So who knows, but it works. That's cool to at least have the option. I can't tell if it seems to be focusing in webcam mode, but I'm not sure. Maybe it's just whatever setting they have. I just don't have a way to give myself some adjustment. I can adjust myself to hopefully that easier. Yeah. Make sure. Yeah. It's cool that it exists, and it's cool that it has that feature at the very least. But we can move on and just put some photos on the computer and take a look at what we got and such. So I'm gonna disconnect this. That's an awkward little view, but and that. All right, cool. Seems to be still working. Turn this off for a second. There we go. Nice. I'm just going to connect it to the computer and do the file transfer. You can always just take out the memory card if you have some sort of way to read micro SD cards on your computer. But in this case, I'm going to select the top one. And then we can go into computer mode. Let's see. We have a connection. Yeah, I see this is the drive on the camera. You can just copy over everything at once. Folder. What can I call this? All right, that looks good. Copy. Let's see how fast this goes. So this is unexpected error. So it could be the port that I'm using or the cable that I'm using. I'm using a different cable. Oh, that was loose. Okay. So yeah, there was... Maybe that's why I disconnected. It seems that some USB cables don't, of aftermarket ones that I have, don't lock in amazingly well. So I'm going to cancel that and then delete whatever did copy and redo it. And I'm going to use their official cable that came with it. This is it's the USB-C connection, but for whatever reason, some of my cables were not working amazingly well. Yeah, that one, their included cable really locks in there. So I'm gonna turn it on and turn it off again, just in case. Sorry. Little bit of, there we go. So that should be good. Try that again. Go back to my source and make sure there's nothing that copied. Yeah. So we've got the camera connected. The reason I'm not showing the camera now is because it's the cable that they include is not long enough for me to give it on screen here. But let's see what we got. So using their included cable with the USB 3 port, I'm getting around, and then their included memory card, we're getting around 13, 14 megabytes a second, which is not super fast. So really the slow part would probably be either the camera or the memory card that they included. So things to keep in mind. I could cancel it and try the memory card itself. I have a built-in reader. Let's try that. So I'm going to delete this again. And empty. So what I'm going to do now is turn this off. And then take the card out. Whoops, I just hit the SOS button. There we go. And while we're looking at this, I'm going to charge the camera, which probably a good idea. Yeah, I think you definitely want to try to get another battery for this if you can. If it's a camera that looks interesting to you. Just turning it off and charging it. All right, so now I've got the included memory card. Again, all it says is 64 GB on it. There's no branding. Nothing on the, I don't think there's anything on it. There's a little bit of information on it, but probably not super relevant. Yeah. I'm gonna put this into my computer. There we go. And we can see if it's any faster like this. So here I've got in my built-in reader, or technically it's in a expansion port, and it uses USB as well. Or I should say expansion bay on a computer. Let's go paste. Oh yeah, it's going significantly faster. So the slow part was the camera itself, the transfer speed of the camera, and potentially the USB cable that they include with the camera. So maybe I could find a cable that would get us faster transfer speeds. I could try that if anyone is curious or interested. Make sure that I don't have any chat stuff. All right. Yeah, here are our pictures. I'm gonna do this real quick. Go to some application I can use to take a look. Properties, whoops. Gonna manage. So I'm gonna use ACDC Photo Studio. This is generally the application that I use to view stuff. I think that's good. There we go. So these are some of the pictures. I didn't realize it had fixed focus mode originally on the camera. So there's going to be a mix of stuff that's not in focus, and then also just things that didn't focus in the moment. In that case, that was fixed focus mode. It's just a quicker type of thing. But here we can see that I turned focus mode on. So that's at 100%. If we zoom out a little bit, it looks fine. I mean, it's a decent looking photo to me. But that's 100% zoom on that. We see what they do mention the sensor size. It's 1/1.2 inch. Let me see if I can find some specifications. Sizes. I think there's a Wikipedia one that goes over different sizes. 1/1. Whoops, 1/1.2. Let's see. All right, so here's a little list of different sensor sizes, and they're, hold on. They're listing, oops. Bring that back. Their product listing says 1/1.2 inch type sensor, and I'm getting this size here, so assuming it's similar or the same, we've got a crop factor of 3.24. If you look at cameras like This one here, the 1/2.3 inch, is a very classic size. So you can see some phones use that at this point, but a lot of traditional webcams, I mean, digicams. So this is my original digital camera that was decent. It's a 2-megapixel Canon, and this probably has like a 1/2.3 inch type sensor. So if we look at that, we have a crop factor of 5.64, and compared to what this camera should be is 3.24. That means the sensor in this camera, assuming it's correct. Sorry, I forgot that I was charging it. The sensor in this camera is bigger than some of the stuff in phones, and probably all the stuff in phones, except for a few rare cases that have 1-inch type sensors, which would be down here. So that's 2.72 crop factor versus the 3.24 in the case of this Maxmango camera sensor. And there will be a few phones and like the Nikon CX mount, which doesn't exist anymore, or the Sony RX series. So the RX 100, RX 10 have that 1-inch type sensor, which is a little bit bigger, or, you know, of this calculation bigger. So 2.72 versus 3.24. But then again, we look back at the 1/2.3 inch, which is like a classic size. That's 5.64. And then you can also look at the actual diagonal width and stuff too, if you want. But it isn't necessarily exactly like that. It's just, this is a common size for this specific thing that is around the same. Actually, we could look at the area, which makes a little bit more sense, assuming it's the exact same size. So that says 85 versus 28. So that's a big difference with the old classic format of sensor size. But then we look at the 1-inch type sensors. It's 85 versus 116 approximately. So it's about, in, 85 versus that, and it's decent size is the point. Good to know. So I feel like that looks pretty good. Let's keep going. Here's another one. As long as the focus is good, this was probably the, I don't know. So it says 100, ISO 100, f2.8, 1/120th of a second. So it appears to have an f2.8 lens, according to EXIF information, but it doesn't list the focal length. Let's go back into manage mode. All right. Yeah, it's not transferring the focal length information for some reason, but we can see clearly that the shutter speed is changing, and the aperture is obviously appears to be fixed. Yeah, so it looks like the aperture, according to this information, is fixed. So it's f2.8, constant aperture. That's similar to phones. That could potentially be related to that. So I want to hold the camera, but I'm charging it. So that's why I looked over. Let's see if the ISO changes. So at least from the data, assuming the data is correct, I can move my face over here. The shutter speed is changing, but the aperture is not changing, and doesn't look like the ISO changes, but maybe if I were to try to take a photo in a dark place, then it might, okay, it does change. So that's ISO 400. So ISO changes, aperture aperture does not change and shutter speed does change. So we've got a fixed aperture camera, and it doesn't list our focal length. So I'm not sure what the focal length is. It does have digital zoom, but it is a fixed focal length. Let's look at the results again here. I can actually switch to this mode for a little bit less face cam. Let's see, where were we? And again, that looks pretty good. That's the detail on that. I will say that their auto exposure seems pretty good. How's it going? Mark Ray, how you doing? Whoops. Yeah. So this, I'm charging the camera. I can pull it over here and show you if you haven't seen it. But this company sent me the camera at no cost, but they had to agree to my usual terms with anything where basically they have no say in the content of the video and they're not allowed to preview anything. Whoops. But here we go. Whoops. I just hit the, it has an SOS light on it. There we go. Yeah, here's the camera. So it's this is actually waterproof camera, which that'll be the last thing we try with this. Is I do have some water here that I'll put it in. But yeah, it's a pretty rugged feeling. Got this light here, again with the SOS mode. I'll flash myself rather than all of you. It's kind of cool. It has two screens. So we've got the back screen, which is a touch screen. And then we've got this, whoops, the card's not in here. Card, but maybe it'll still work. So we've got the back screen. Sorry, my main camera is a bit overexposed. And then we've got this front screen. So I don't know if this is I kind of doubt this is a touch screen, but that's cool. Nice little selfie thing going on. And then of course on the bottom we've got a tripod socket, got the USB connection in here with the battery and then the memory card spot. But then I can hold this button on the top or just tap it and it switches back to the main screen, and this is a touch screen. Yeah. So that is that. Anyways, let me switch to this mode. Turn it off for the moment. So I'm just looking at the results here. These simple little samples that I took. Oh, it uses micro SD cards. If you're curious. Yeah, some of these, the focus might have been off, clearly. So it's a nice close-up. Let's see. That's 8,000 by 6,000 resolution. I can zoom in a little bit here. That might have been hitting the minimum focus, I'm not totally sure. Or maybe like the shutter speed, 1/120th of a second. But the ISO is 100, so it probably was fine. One of the downsides I've seen so far, at least with the current firmware, but never buy on firmware potential, I don't see any way to adjust exposure in this camera. So no exposure compensation or anything like that. Here's the, okay, this is also 8,000 by 6,000 resolution picture. Looks decent. Yeah. Let's keep going. Another one. So they do mention the sensor size 1/1.2 inch. If anyone here didn't hear me say that. Whoops, I forgot to transfer my view. Oops. There we go. That's pretty close. Yeah. Not terrible. A fair amount of detail for this type of camera. Again, it's waterproof. Oh wait, is this one of the special? Okay, this is one of the special modes, but I might have been moving my hands. Yeah. So the higher resolution modes, so it goes from like 5 megapixel to 90 megapixel. And then once you hit, I think after 48 megapixel, it does some sort of stacking or something, some type of adjustment, specialty mode. I'm not totally sure, you know, what it's doing in practice. But yeah, this is one of the ultra high resolution modes. It's possible that I did this handheld. I didn't realize at first. Yeah, okay. So here's again one of the specialty high resolution modes. That's a fair amount of detail on that. You can see what it took a photo of in the moment, and then zoom in on this, it looks good. But obviously you have to be still, so tripod work, something like that could be potentially kind of cool with this, with those high resolution modes. It's a nice little addition to their camera. But the downside, again, I don't see any way to adjust the exposure. Although I will say the auto exposure seems pretty decent. I haven't seen any issues so far. So yeah, these are a bunch of different resolution modes for me just trying to use this mode. Okay, this one's a little bit smaller. I must have been going down in the resolution list as I test things out. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So this is a 48 megapixel picture. I don't know if that was using the stacking thing or not. Okay, just focus. This is like a 5 megapixel photo or some other lower resolution. Yeah. So missed focus. I think I was trying the continuous. It goes from 1 frame, obviously, to 5 frames per second, apparently. But I didn't really do much with that mode. These look like 5 megapixel or lower resolution pictures. Yeah, I was trying to use that frames per second mode. Trying to do the selfies. It was hard for me to tell if it was in focus, but clearly it's not in focus. I'll have to mess with that. Yeah, a lot of these are just not good. That one's just okay. Yeah. I mean, this camera will generally be an indoor or outdoor, potentially, camera because of the waterproof nature and stuff. If anyone is interested and wants to see more about this, I could definitely take it out. I'll probably at some point take it out and do some photos with it. But yeah, that's the extent of what I took right now with the samples and such. I'm not sure what this black bar on the side of the camera is. Anyways, yeah. I don't know what that is. So that is the, let me see the name real quick. The Maxmango V08 Pro. Again, keep in mind, Maxmango sent me this to try out, doing the unboxing stream here is pretty fun, but actually I just forgot. I'm gonna dip it in some water. So we'll do that. Go back to the hands-on camera. We'll see if it works. All right. Zoom out here. I need to get a towel or something as well. I'm gonna turn this off. Get rid of this, everything that has a battery in it. I'm gonna remove from the area just in case. Let's see if I can find some sort of towel or something. Okay, this is a good one. Oh, cat. Get this out of the way. Need to actually make sure I'm in the right thing here. Yeah. Right. I'm gonna disconnect this. Actually, maybe I'm gonna try to get it out of the way just in case. I don't want to spill water on it. There we go. There's that. Let me hit record. Try to get this aligned so it looks decent. Oops. All right. I will also check. Actually, did I put the memory card back in? I did not. I'm going to put the memory card back in. Whoops. Sorry. Is that aligned? Kind of. Make sure it's focused. Can't tell if it's it probably focused on the thing there. Yeah. Memory card. Trying to remember what the order of operations was. Put this back in here. I'm gonna look at the box just in case, because it mentions the order to do these. Switch here. So it says close. You're gonna do this one and then that one. So I'm gonna push this in, lock, and then there's two red bars. So this should be good. You can see the two red bars. So I did that one and then that one. Just make sure my camera is focused. And pull this thing over. Should be good. Just does kind of float. Let's see. All right. The screen is on. Taking pictures. I'll let me put it into does the touchscreen work? Okay, I don't think touchscreens work underwater. Doesn't appear to, but it has buttons, so Let me try fixed focus. I keep wanting to touch the screen. We could do a video. Okay, it's in full HD. Let's see. Go into setup. Video mode. Let's put it into 4K 60. Whoops. There we go. Menu. Back into video mode. And then start this up. So it's recording. Yeah, it works. I probably should have gotten a larger container, but it's kind of cool. Turn on the light here. Actually, I don't think it works. I have to turn off the recording and then I can turn on the light. That's cool. So it's got built-in light. Turn the recording back on. Yeah, it works. It's at least in this little bit of water. It seems to be working all right. I see bubbles occasionally. I'm not sure where they're probably coming from the side. Yeah, they're coming from the side of the container. But that is, oh, so the SOS works even though the camera is recording video. That's cool. Turn that off. And then I can turn the, well, I'll take a photo. Switch back, oh, it's recording. There we go. Switch back to photo mode. The buttons seem to work just fine. It does have some buoyancy. So it's currently in fixed focus mode. So it's going to be very easy to take a picture, but there's not going to be much to show. Yeah. All right. Pretty cool. Turn the light off. Take another picture. Obviously, we can do the selfie screen. Yeah. I don't want to show much on the screen back there, but it works. Selfie screen works, no surprise. So if you want to do selfies underwater, you know, you can do selfies underwater. It's pretty cool. Maybe I'll get a picture of it in the water here. It's kind of floating. Let's see, where's my camera? It's not in there. What did I do with my camera? All right. Zoom out here. Whoops. Oh. Oops. It seems to be just fine so far. Maybe I'm going to do a video as well here. Switch it to video mode, because I can use this later. Oh, that is really... This is so dark. Is it in? Oh, that is why. Yeah, that's kind of what that looks like. Pretty cool. Switch this. Oh, my other camera's struggling to focus on this. That's okay. Well, it works. I think that was all I wanted to cover today. Yeah, pretty cool. There we go. Actually, this would be a good picture as well with water on it. Thinking about the future video as I do this. Yeah. So if anyone has any questions or anything, probably gonna end the stream pretty soon here. Oh, I don't know if I have autofocus on. Maybe that's why I was struggling. Well, probably good. Yeah, I think we're good on that. Hopefully, if you see the stream after the fact, or you watched some of it today, you enjoyed it. So we could do a little zoom in here. Lots of water. Yeah. Turn back on. See if the touchscreen works with water on it. Yeah. Oops. Cool. Do a close-up. Pretty cool. And we've got the SOS mode. Oops, I pressed the wrong thing. Yeah, the selfie screen. See, that's working. And then the flash. Plus the light. Nice. And it does have a bit of buoyancy to it. Yep, it works. Cool. All right. I almost touched my camera with a wet hand. Oh. That's one way to clean it. Obviously, if you put this in the ocean or anything, you're going to want to rinse it off with clean water, you know, water without salt in it. Salt is generally bad for electronics and things like that. Whoops. Yeah. Looking good. I don't know if I want to open that yet. Okay. I think I got most of the... There is a little bit of water on that. Obviously, when you do things like that, you want to make sure your gasket is fully intact. And good. I'm going to pull the battery for now, just in case. All right. Yeah. Cool. The face cam. So there it is. That was a fun stream there. Unboxing this thing and trying out. As possible in the future, I might go and do some photography with this, or maybe even for if I make an edited video, rather than just like a clipped up video. But fun camera. So the considerations I've found so far based on current firmware, it doesn't have any sort of exposure compensation. You can't adjust shutter speed. You can't adjust ISO. That would be nice. Definitely would be helpful. That said, it seems like the auto exposure in this camera is pretty solid for the most part. The pictures that I did take indoors here look decent for the most part. Obviously, I was doing some of the selfie stuff here and it was struggling with focus and such. So it does autofocus in photo mode. It just uses like a center portion of the area to focus. And, you know, that's at least functional. So you could do like focus and recompose a little bit as needed. It has the selfie screen on the front, very cool feature. It has the built-in light with the SOS feature. It's got the continuous light mode if you want that to just have a continuous light, which works in video, which is good. As far as I can tell, the video on this doesn't focus, so that's another downside. So if you're going to do videos with this, obviously if you're underwater or something, that probably wouldn't matter, or you're doing some type of like long distance thing, it probably wouldn't matter for most situations. But at least, again, based on current firmware, it doesn't appear to do autofocus in video. I could be wrong, but as far as I can tell, it doesn't. It does have a digital zoom feature, but again, as far as I can tell, it is a fixed focus, or a fixed aperture lens, if I can get my words correct. So fixed aperture lens, fixed focal length lens, also fixed aperture. So it's f2.8 based on the EXIF information. I'm not sure on the focal length. I could ask them at some point, or you know, try to figure it out based on using similar lenses and then calculating it and stuff based on the sensor size. But anyways, yeah. What else? So photo, video, it does some sort of image stacking or some type of technique to improve the resolution in high megapixel. So the default appears to be 48 megapixel for the photos, but if you go higher than that, it wants you to not move the camera and it kind of does some type of computational photography or something to improve the resolution in those situations. And we did look at some of the samples that I took, and it appeared to improve detail. Besides that, what else? Yeah, I think that pretty much covers it. Again, this is called the Maxmango V08 Pro. Fun camera. They sent me this at no cost to try out, make videos on, and I'll probably do a full video of this after this stream at some point. And then also, they have no say in the content of my videos. That's what these companies have to agree to when I accept a product, a demo product, and I will be keeping this thing. So in the future, I might show it more or use it or something. But, oh, it also has a webcam mode, which did work, but one of the downsides is that how the tripod is based on where this battery door is, and if you want to do webcam mode, you're going to have this open. So that's kind of a quirky situation. You're going to have to most likely figure out some type of adapter or something to get some, get it to work and mount. I don't know if this comes off. It's hard to say. If this comes off, that would make it a little bit easier, but I'm not going to try to take it off at the moment. Yeah. And I would suggest, if you can get more batteries for this thing, definitely get another battery, because just in this stream, I was using a fair amount. But anyways, yeah, interesting camera. It's called the Maxmango V08 Pro. Yeah, I think a good, fun stream. I'm gonna head out. All right. There's that one. I'm also gonna sign out of YouTube so I get the right screen. End stream. Cool.